Hwanggeumpyeong Island, the border between North Korea and China. 3:18 p.m. In the harsh light of day, 18 U.S. Marines are stranded, surrounded. 200 North Korean soldiers are closing in. They are completely cut off. All support is gone. Their mission covert intelligence gathering. The objective to expose North Korean weapon smuggling. It was supposed to be a simple operation, in and out in 2 hours. But they were detected. A North Korean border patrol had found them. Then suddenly the trap was sprung. Every escape route was sealed. The North Korean commander radioed Pyongyang with the news. 18 American Marines captured. The orders came back, transport them for interrogation in a public trial. It was a propaganda victory for Kim Jong-un. United States Special Forces caught deep inside North Korean territory. A perfect spectacle for state television. Except North Korea had just made 3 catastrophic mistakes. First, before capture, those Marines activated an emergency beacon. Second, the USS America, a fully loaded amphibious assault ship. It was just 40 miles away, carrying 800 Marines and 24 attack helicopters. And third, the moment Pyongyang tried to move those prisoners, the United States Indo-Pacific Command authorized Operation Thunderbolt, a mission of simultaneous rescue and destruction. The targets every North Korean military installation within 60 kilometers. In 34 minutes, 18 Marines were rescued, and 17 North Korean bases were obliterated. This is that story. Hwanggeumpyeong Island covers 3 square kilometers. It sits on the Yalu River, a wedge between North Korea and China. While technically North Korean territory, it was mostly abandoned, the perfect location for a covert operation. At 1100 hours, 18 Marines from the elite 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion inserted quietly using 2 small boats. Their objective was to photograph North Korean weapons being illegally smuggled through this route into China. Intelligence indicated a major shipment was happening today. Captain Jake Morrison led the team. Once on North Korean soil, the rules of engagement were strict. Stay invisible. Gather the intel. Extract by 1300 hours. No contact with enemy forces. At 13:30, the Marines had their prize-clear photos of a truck convoy. North Korean military vehicles. They were transporting critical missile components. Just as intelligence predicted, the mission was a success. It was time to get out. At 2:15 p.m., their extraction boats arrived at the pickup point. The Marines began moving to the beach. Then suddenly, a North Korean border patrol appeared. 20 soldiers blocking their only path to freedom. "Contact north," Captain Morrison yelled. "Take cover." Gunfire erupted from the tree line. The Marines returned fire instantly, suppressing the enemy, fighting their way toward the boats. But it was a fatal mistake. More North Korean soldiers arrived, 50 of them, then 100, then 200, pouring onto the island from the mainland. The North Korean commander had been waiting for them. He had tracked the Marines the entire time. He let them complete their mission, only to close the trap. At 2:47 p.m., the extraction boats were rocked by explosions, RPG fire. Both boats were disabled, sinking into the cold water. There was no escape. The Marines fell back to a hard defensive position, a fortified building, but their ammunition was dangerously limited. 200 North Korean soldiers were now surrounding them. They had machine gun positions. They had mortars. The encirclement was complete. Captain Morrison activated his emergency distress beacon. An encrypted signal burst into the sky. Reaper actual, 18 Marines trapped on Hwanggeumpyeong Island. We are surrounded, no extraction possible. Immediate QRF required. The time was 3:05 p.m. Over a loudspeaker, the North Korean commander's voice boomed. "American Marines, you are surrounded. You cannot escape. Surrender now. You will be treated as prisoners of war, according to international law." Captain Morrison's reply was short. "Negative. We are United States Marines. We do not surrender." At 3:18 p.m., the North Korean forces launched their main assault. A wave of overwhelming firepower, grenades, machine guns, and mortars hammered their position. The Marines fought back bravely, but they were outnumbered 10-1. Ammunition was running dangerously low. 3 Marines were wounded. The building was taking heavy fire. At 3:22 p.m., the walls came down. North Korean troops stormed the building. It was brutal hand-to-hand combat. The Marines fought with everything they had. Their rifles, their knives, their bare hands, but it was 200 soldiers against just 18 Marines. The outcome was inevitable. At 3:25 p.m., the Americans were overrun, captured, disarmed. Their hands-bound a North Korean commander now held 18 U.S. Marines. They were prisoners of North Korea. The commander proudly radioed Pyongyang. Mission successful. 18 American Special Forces captured. Transporting to Sinuiju for interrogation. He recommended an immediate propaganda release. Kim Jong-un's regime prepared a celebration. They had captured American Marines. It was a perfect propaganda victory. But they had made a fatal mistake. Because 5 minutes earlier, the USS America received the distress signal, and a response was authorized that would unleash hell on North Korea's entire coastal defense system. At 3:20 p.m. aboard the USS America, a state-of-the-art amphibious assault ship, steaming just 40 miles from Hwanggeumpyeong Island, Colonel Marcus Webb, commander of the Marine Expeditionary Unit, read the horrifying signal twice. 18 of his men captured on enemy soil. His response was swift and absolute. Launch everything. Full MEU assault. We're getting our Marines back. Now. At 3:21 p.m., the flight deck exploded into action. 24 helicopters roared to life. 12 Me-22 Ospreys, their tilt rotors thundering, carrying 400 combat-ready Marines. They were flanked by 8 AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters, backed up by 4 massive CH-53K King Stallion heavy-lift helicopters. At 3:22 p.m., the tip of the spear launched. 6 F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters screamed off the deck. These VSTOL jets were armed with precision bombs and deadly missiles. Then at 3:23 p.m., the USS Tripoli joined the fight. A second amphibious ship launched its own wave of steel. 8 more helicopters carrying another 200 Marines. The total assault force, 600 Marines, 32 helicopters, and 6 of the world's most advanced stealth fighters. Their primary mission, rescue the captured Marines. Their secondary objective was a message: annihilate every North Korean military installation that stood in their way. At 3:26 p.m., F-35 Bravos sliced through the air, arriving at the North Korean coast. They were ghosts, completely invisible to enemy radar. Their stealth technology made a mockery of North Korea's early warning systems. 8 separate radar stations detected absolutely nothing. Not until the first precision bombs found their mark. A symphony of destruction. In just 30 seconds, all 8 installations were turned to rubble. In an instant, North Korea was blind. The time 3:28 p.m., AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters appeared over Hwanggeumpyeong Island. Below, they saw captured Marines being herded onto trucks. The enemy numbered 200 strong. Dug-in machine gun nests and mortar teams guarded the prisoners. The order was given: all Vipers engage ground targets. Clear the landing zone for the rescue force. 16. AGM-114. Hellfire missiles screamed from their pylons, each one a precision strike. The North Korean machine gun positions were obliterated. Their mortar teams eliminated. The convoy meant to transport the Marines was now a burning wreck. Just 1 minute later, 3:29 p.m., 12 M-22 Ospreys thundered into view. 400 Marines descended, fast roping from the sky. They hit the ground hard, right in the heart of the enemy position. Boots on the ground. A4 carbines already firing. Squad automatic weapons and grenades tore into the enemy ranks. The North Korean soldiers fought back, but it was a losing battle. 400 Marines backed by Viper gunships. The firefight lasted just 3 minutes. Brutal. Close quarters. By 3:32 p.m. it was over. The rescue force reached the captured personnel. They cut their bonds and rearmed them with recovered weapons. Captain Morrison's Marines were recovered, but the clock was ticking. Enemy reinforcements were on the move. 500 more troops just 5 kilometers out. The time 3:33 p.m. The F-35 Bravos reappeared, striking the Sinuiju military base. The same base where the reinforcements were staged. Precision munitions rained down on the barracks, on vehicle depots, and on ammunition storage sites. The North Korean reinforcements would never arrive. They were neutralized before they even left their base. At 3:34 p.m., all 18 rescued Marines were aboard the Ospreys heading home, and a 400-man Marine assault force extracting. At 3:35 p.m., the helicopters lifted off. They were heading for the fleet, but this fight was not over. At 3:36 p.m., 6B-1B Lancer bombers appeared on station. They had been orbiting patiently over international waters waiting. The call came into the Bone flights. Targeting data received. The order was given, you are cleared hot. The target lists 17 North Korean coastal military installations. Their authorization complete and total destruction. 96 GPS-guided bombs were armed and ready. First on the list, Hwanggeumpyeong Air Base, followed by 4 artillery bases along the Yalu River, 3 critical coastal radar stations, 2 naval patrol boat stations, 5 ammunition depots, and 3 military command centers. At 3:38 p.m., the bombs were released. The runways at Hwanggeumpyeong Air Base were instantly shattered. Hangars were shredded. The control tower collapsed into dust. 15 MiG fighters on the ground were obliterated. The 4 artillery bases were each hammered by 8 bombs. Their gun positions were annihilated. Ammunition cooked off in massive fireballs. The 3 radar stations went silent. North Korea's eyes and ears on this border were gone. At 2 naval stations, 12 North Korean patrol boats were docked. Every single one was sunk or utterly destroyed. The 5 ammunition depots erupted. Massive secondary explosions lit up the horizon. 3 command and control centers were flattened. Their communications systems wiped from existence. The regional command structure was decapitated. But the hammer wasn't finished falling. At 3:41 p.m., 4 South Korean F-15K Strike Eagles roared into the fight. Authorized to join the operation, they had their own targets. A line of North Korean border observation posts. With 16 precision-guided bombs, they erased every enemy post within 50 kilometers. At 3:48 p.m., the extraction helicopters touched down. They were back on the deck of the USS America. All 18 rescued Marines were safe along with the entire 400-man assault force. The price, 0 fatalities, 12 wounded. At 3:52 p.m., just 34 minutes after the Marines were taken, Operation Thunderbolt was complete. A message had been sent. 18 Marines brought home. 17 North Korean military bases turned to dust. An estimated 943 enemy casualties. The entire coastal defense network along the Yalu River, gone. In a matter of hours, in Pyongyang, the propaganda machine spun a different tale. KCNA reported a heroic victory. They claimed the Korean People's Army had repelled a massive American commando invasion of their sacred territory. The official story, enemy forces retreated after suffering heavy losses. The DPRK was victorious. They admitted only minor equipment damage from cowardly airstrikes. There was no mention of the rescued Marines, no admission of 17 shattered bases. But satellites do not lie. The imagery was undeniable, 17 smoking ruins. The Pentagon statement was cold and direct. North Korean forces captured 18 U.S. Marines, armored during an authorized reconnaissance operation. We conducted an immediate rescue. All Marines were recovered safely. We simultaneously eliminated the North Korean military infrastructure that posed a threat to the rescue operation. The strategic impact was devastating. North Korea lost more military capability along the Chinese border in 34 minutes than in entire battles during the Korean War. Every radar station blinded. They could not see us coming. Every artillery base silenced. Their guns could not fire on a single soul. Every patrol boat station gone. The Yalu River was wide open. Every ammunition depot vaporized. They could not resupply. Every command center collapsed. There was no one left to give an order, and China watched. Suddenly, their border with North Korea was a massive undefended security gap. The buffer zone that protected China's flank had been obliterated by American forces in 34 minutes. But in the end, only one number truly mattered, 18. 18 Marines came home, captured at 3:25 p.m., rescued by 3:48 p.m., 23 minutes as prisoners of war. then freedom. The message was clear. You can take our Marines, but you cannot keep them. For these prisoners, time would not be measured in days. It would be measured in minutes, because the rescue force was already inbound. And they were not coming alone. They were bringing 600 Marines, 32 helicopters, and 6 stealth fighters and bombers. Their mission to erase every enemy base within a 60-kilometer radius. For their valor, the captured recon team each received the Bronze Star. They resisted their captors and fought until the end. As for the 600 Marines of the rescue force, they received Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medals for executing a flawless assault under withering enemy fire. Pyongyang learned a hard lesson that day. You can capture American Marines, but you can't keep them. Because 34 minutes later, a rescue force arrives to destroy everything you have. 3:18 p.m. Hwanggeumpyeong Island, North Korea. 18 U.S. Marines conducting reconnaissance are captured. The enemy prepared for a propaganda victory. They planned to parade American prisoners on state television. It was a fatal mistake. 3:52 p.m. Just 34 minutes later, all 18 Marines are rescued, 17 North Korean bases are annihilated, 943 enemy casualties. An entire coastal defense system completely eliminated. The enemy held United States Marines for 34 minutes. Then 600 U.S. Marines took them back. This is the story of Operation Thunderbolt, the fastest combat rescue in the history of the Marine Corps. 34 minutes from capture to freedom. Let this be a warning. The rescue force does not negotiate. It does not wait for permission. It simply arrives, destroys everything in its path, and takes our people home. 18 Marines captured, 18 Marines rescued, 17 bases obliterated, a 34-minute total victory. Never capture a U.S. Marine.